Yo guys, it's your boy the Purist, and welcome to the Purist Podcast, episode 41. I'm back with Mickey, Kuzan, Harry, Princess, and Jordan. And yeah, we're here to talk boxing. Right. First things first. It's a sad day or sad week in boxing. Simiso Buthelezi has passed away, sadly. He passed away after his fight on the weekend. They called it the invisible boxer, where he was actually winning and he had his opponent in trouble, but then afterwards he lost his bearings and he just started fighting again in the corner. Referee stopped the fight immediately. Well done to him, because we've seen recently a referee in the Joshua Vargas fight just let the guy get battered for pretty much no reason. So it's good that referee stopped it. He got medical help pretty quickly. But that was the last of him. And again, it sparked debates in our school about whether we should stop boxing. We can see the lives of the families have been affected forever. He won't get his life back. That's a father, that's a brother, someone's family member. So yeah, just some of your thoughts on the situation in South Africa. Harry?
I feel like it's an unfortunate situation. You don't really know all the ins and outs of how his training camp went. I mean, I think that plays a massive part in boxing. Fighters will cut corners, but obviously we can't speak of how that went. It's just one of them things. Could the referee have jumped in sooner? I mean, it's just happened at that point. I think it's one of them things. It's never going to come out of the sport. There will be deaths in boxing and any other sort of martial arts, but it's one of them things that we can just try and make it as safe as possible.
I think it's also a reminder of that you never know. You really never know what stage it is, you know. I don't think they've said what point it was at that really made, you know, the detrimental effect. But at the end of the day, you never know. You could walk out of a fight and, you know, a couple months later things could completely change. So it's just, I mean, kudos really to everyone who boxes, everyone who gets in the ring, because it's the parts that us as viewers who don't really consider. Like, you're putting your life on line each and every single time. It doesn't matter if you're fighting for a title, well, it's a dangerous. Can you not hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear you. Yeah.
Sorry, it just came off as unmute. But yeah, just really to give the boxers their flowers, really. It's a lot to get in the ring, and it's easy for us to just watch, but every single time you're putting your life on the line. And I mean, I think on behalf of all of us, we really appreciate everyone who gets in the ring.
I think it was very, very sad to see someone get that hurt and then to find out they've gone into coma after and passed away. It's very sad to see that his opponent's actually been getting death threats for him dying. It was South Africa as well, which is a bit fickle, I guess. I think that there's lots of things in boxing. There's lots of risks. You're taking blows to the head. There's a book by Purist called Damage, which is all centered around CTE, so the effects of boxing. And like Jordan sort of touched on, there could be so many things that could have happened at any point, or it could have just been one punch. We'll never sort of know. You know, it could be he's had too many hard rounds of sparring in his camp. It could be that he's not made weight properly. It could be cumulative damage. It could be, his opponent was a very hard puncher. I know AB touched on people saying there's calls for boxing to be banned. I think you're always going to get that, but at the same time, if you look sort of collectively on a global sort of level, the amount of lives that boxing touches and changes, and the way it brings communities together. You can go to a boxing gym, you can have a criminal on your left-hand side and a police officer on the right-hand side, and it's all kind of left at the door. That sort of community spirit, the change that boxing has brought to numerous lives and communities globally is you can't compare it to anything. It's its own unique sort of, it's a special thing. Things happen, but you can see football players die on football pitches, rugby players, think about the sort of damage they're taking. All these things, we need to take measures to ensure there's fighters' safety, and I think we should educate sort of boxers on the damage that's being done and how they can sort of avoid taking taking the sort of risks that are there and protecting themselves. But at the same time, it's a sport that's been going on since the dawn of man, and it will continue to go on. If you ban it, it will just go underground, and when it goes underground, it's unlicensed and unregulated, and there'll be more deaths. So I think, it always comes up when an issue happens in boxing. We shouldn't ban it. We should, mourn and show our respects to the person that's passed away and the families, and think of ways we can protect fighters in the future.
All right. Let's get back into the mainstream boxing. Naoya Inoue stops Donita Donare in the second round. Now, we all made predictions last week, and none of us had it that early. I think I gave it like 11th round. Some people were saying 6th round.
I said 8. Yeah, I said 8. So.
Yeah, but then Mike was always talking about how they had thin gloves. Well, he was messaging me that telling me they've got small punching gloves going into the fight. And yeah, they wanted to beat the shit out of each other pretty much, because Doniare came in and he said, I don't care if you're called the monster, I'm going to take it straight to you. And ultimately, that left him getting knocked out in the second round. Mike, I'll go with you first because you didn't give your thoughts last week. What do you make of the fight?
I don't think you heard you, maybe.
No, it's all right. Forget about him. Kuzan, what do you think of the fight?
He's always me, bruv. It's cutting up.
Yeah, I was like,
up.
who are you talking to? Are you good?
Go on. You man, crack on.
All right. Man, I thought that fight was you live by the sword, you die by the sword, man. You make one fatal error, bro, and you get cleaned up, man, in out 7, man. That's just what happened. Props to Nonito though, bro. Doniare, man, I don't care. I still stand by Fountain of Youth, all that crap I was saying last week, Lazarus, all of that, man, because bruh just said fuck it. He literally just said fuck it, and like, I don't know if that was the smart game plan, but well, it definitely wasn't the smart game plan to do against Inoue, but yeah, man, it was quick work, man. I really had Donito just hanging out there a little longer because I thought that the veteran status of him, he would know how to. He did it before he could do it again, but nah, it was crazy.
How old is Doniare?
I don't even know. I'm gonna check, but I'm gonna check. Right, go ahead. Well, yeah, go ahead.
I think I don't know if he's kicking on like mid-30s, but I think that just shows his punch resistance is gone because in the first fight,
I think he's closer to late 30s.
Late 30s.
39 or something. I think he's 40, 30, 39, 40.
I think so.
So yeah,
Yeah.
39.
I think them lighter divisions as well.
Yeah, he's 39.
It's harder for them to fight that.
He's got to hang that up, man. Hang it up. Like, you know what it is I'm being real. Like, yeah, you can come out and still have great performances, but when your punch resistance is not the same, that's how you start getting hurt in boxing, and that's how people start.
Are you putting that knockout on? Are we putting that knockout onto Donare's punch resistance, or is that just the freakish power of Inoue?
It could be a bit of both, but the fact that he was able to weather the power the first fight, I'm going to start to say that it's his punch resistance again.
But then the gloves, the debate about the gloves as well. I think the first fight, I can't remember if it was bronze they was wearing, or they was both had the same gloves. In the second fight, I think it was one of them had the Cleto Reyes and the other one had the what gloves? The gloves that Maidana was wearing for the Mayweather fight. The ones that had big debates about whether they should even be legal or not. So both of them put on the puncher's gloves for this fight, and obviously there's debates on how much of a difference it makes. But you know yourself, in the pro game, the gloves, it makes a massive difference. I think personally.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the things we'll never know. But I think if you're getting hurt like that so early on in the fight, I mean, to be fair, yeah, it could be like one of them ones where it's like he wasn't warm and he got clipped. There's nothing you could do with that. But I just think if you're getting up there in age, you see it with all the legends. Like they start taking one shot. And it's over.
Yeah. You don't think it's got to do with the person he's fighting against?
Mate, he's a monster. He's literally a monster, isn't it? Like he's like one of the hardest punchers ever. So it's literally just like I'm just gonna say, just when you're 39, 40, why are you still fighting? Why are you still fighting?
But look,
and it's not like
no, especially at them weights as well, because them lower weights is harder for them older guys.
But if you look at that, Mickey, I mean, he fought Frampton, and when he lost to Frampton, I thought, right, okay, he's done. But fair play, he's had a great career, he's done really well. He's probably the second greatest boxer to ever come from the Philippines. Like, it's not a bad legacy. It's not like he's come back to try and prove anything. He's proven everything. But he's had like a renaissance when he came down lower in weight and he got to the right weight and he's had this great run. I think he should retire, but I don't think it's a case of retire now, you'll be hurt, or it's kind of like you've done everything. You've been in the biggest fights you could have been in. You've done everything you could have done, and
Why are you still
now
fighting?
the next generation to come through. Don't be a gatekeeper. You've gone out at the top.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Princess, what's your thoughts on the fight?
Well, as you know, I'm an Inoue fan, so I knew that was coming. I did expect it to go on a bit tough, so I don't know really what to say about that. I was hoping for a bit more, but like you guys are saying, you got clipped a bit early. Whatever the reason is for that, who knows? But I also do agree with Jordan. I think his age plays a factor, but I also think he's a monster for a reason. Damn. But yeah, they don't call him the monster for fun, and the power that he's got, it shows, and there's a reason why his knockout rate is so high. So that's not to be taken away from him, and yeah, it does not help that Doniare is getting old.
Where do you guys think Inoue should be pound for pound? For me, he's got to be top 3 minimum. But again, someone like Dre, think that it should be grown man weight of 130 plus. I like to see him in the ring against Inoue and see how his grown man weight helps him. But let me know what you guys think.
Sorry, so what was the question?
Where's Inoue in pound for pound? If those little weight classes count for pound.
Oh man. Well, I would say top 3 too. I would say number 3. I would say 3 on my pound for pound list. But as for the look, man, he is a grown man though. So you can't. I know what you mean when you say like I know what you mean because but not everybody's gonna be like you. I don't know what size you are, but like I'm assuming you're bigger than that. You know what I mean? Some people's bodies is just built different. You know what I'm saying? Some people come out smaller, but can still retain muscle. It's kind of like freaks of nature in my eyes too, because how Fury and those guys are like freaks of nature on the other end of the spectrum. These guys are kind of freaks of nature too, that they can be like a grown man and still have the lightest weight possible. Like some of this stuff I was wearing when I was in elementary school, but they still grown men, so you can't discredit them. You know what I mean? They still put in the same work that these other dudes is putting works on. You know what I mean?
So I think for me, if you look at the name is pound for pound, right? So it's about making sure that we're looking at it from the perspective of if everybody was the same weight, who would be the best boxer? Who would win? Who's the number 1 boxer? So it should be from all weights. I think for me, Inoue, he's in my top 3. You've got to look at this. He's a 3-weight champion. He's gone through the weights to do this as well. He's not just actually put into 1 weight dominated. He's done this with 3 weights. So he's
what are people's top 3? Because
it's got to be Canelo, Usyk up there. Crawford will be up there. I think that's about it. And Inoue.
See, for me, I'm torn with I've got Crawford and Inoue in my top 3 for certain. But I can't make up whether I want Usyk or Canelo in my sort of within that. I don't have number 1, 2, 3. I've got 3 people I think are in that sort of top part.
Usyk or who?
Sorry?
You said Usyk or who?
Canelo.
Oh, okay.
I can't quite make my mind up. I keep changing every week as you do in boxing. So and then I keep changing as well. 1 week I've got my number 1 fighter, and this week I'm just you know what? I've got 2 fighters I like. I'm not sure what I said, but Inoue's in my top 3.
Was anyone here?
Yeah, there's a bit of crackling or something.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out what that is. I don't know what it is.
Was it me then?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna just leave and come back and see.
Yeah, I think possibly. Yeah, that's it. It's gone now. I think Terence Crawford, he's definitely got to be up there to me. I think whether Canelo stays in the top three, I'm not too sure. I mean, you can't argue with what he's done. But I think you gotta put Doniare up there. You have to. But it's who you taking out for him. Me personally, I probably would replace him with Usyk. I'd probably replace Doniare with Usyk.
See, that's it. But I think I think it's like a good thing because it sort of shows that boxing's in a good place, and you can't sort of even pick or decide who your sort of top 3 pound for pound fighters are when you're looking at the top 5, and even that's a bit close. It shows sort of the space and the place that boxing's in, right? I think that's a good problem to be having. I think I'm the same as you, Jordan. I don't want to dismiss what Canelo's done. So I'm trying to just, I guess, piece it together from there. Who's your top 3, Princess?
I'm gonna go Usyk, Crawford. Well, I wanted to say Spence, but I'm gonna say Crawford. That really hurts me to say, but I'm gonna just swiftly move on from that because I might just keep changing my mind. And Inoue, I like him a lot. I don't know if I could skip past him and put him 4th.
So I'm confused a bit. So all of you have Inoue in your top 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is? It's because he's just fought as well, so he's all I can think about.
You try and wait for his win to age a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Let it age a little bit and see. I still think it will hold up.
No, this is the thing with me when I watch him. I think, do you know what? If you were to sort of run or sort of break down what a boxer is and bring sort of someone who's never watched boxing before to sort of see like what an actual sort of traditional boxer looks like, it would be Inoue. Because his technique is great, his footwork's great, he's got power, speed, he's got everything. He's a very complete fighter, and he ticks every single box. Whereas if you were to say bring him up to say watch like an Usyk's amazing, but it's his footwork that's the spectacle. It's on such a level, it's so different. But Inoue just everything so well.
Yeah, the basics just
he's drilled it to perfection. It's beautiful to watch.
Who would you like to see Inoue fight next? Because even though he's fighting the best guys out there, there's people in the comments like, all right, just wait until fight someone good. And I'm thinking, damn,
Campbell Hatton.
Good.
They just don't.
Sticking with Campbell Hatton, he's ready. He's ready, AB.
Campbell Hatton. What weight is he?
I'm not even sure. It's just a joke.
Okay.
Let's not
I hear a lot of people saying it. I'm thinking, why is one a guy to get hurt for?
Yeah, man. End his career before it started.
Yeah, I think they're talking about moving up for the Fulton fight. I'd like to see that.
What was it? 126.
What's that guy? Steve Fulton. That guy.
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
What about him? That guy is he's slick, dude. He just fought recently too. And he was slick, man. I would love to see the style of that because Inoue can give you 2 ways. You know what I'm saying? He can give you the boxing way. He can give you the I'm just gonna knock you out way. You know what I'm saying? And Fulton, he's got defense. Like I said, he's gonna try to give him fits in trying to hit him. You know what I mean? So I would like to see that. I think Fulton might be a weight class above him. Maybe.
Yeah. So it'd be Inoue moving up. So it'd be 4 weights. I think as well to do that.
4 weights.
Because Inoue's already fought at 2 other weights before this weight, so it would be a 4-weight champion. But I think as well, like, if you remember when Inoue sort of first came on the scene or first signed with Top Rank was sort of saying we're going to bring him to America, he's going to learn English, all this stuff. Then the pandemic hit, which kind of messed things up a bit. So I think before he fights Fulton, maybe bring him over to America and make him a bit of a spectacle. Like promote him, build him. Because I still feel like he's a bit of a boxing secret. He's a sort of fighter where it's only like a sort of a hardcore casual fan on that sort of thing. But boxing people know who he is, but he's not. Nobody would sort of name him if you asked them to name a current world champion boxer on the street now in England or the US. So maybe promote him a bit more and kind of go from there.
All right, then let's move on to a little preview. We've got Beterbiev versus Joe Smith Jr. this weekend. I think Beterbiev has 2 belts still, WBC and WB.
Yeah, like IBF.
IBF, IBF, yeah. Joe Smith has a WBO, I think it is, right?
Yeah.
Which one has Bivol got? WBA.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
3 belt unification. Joe
God
Smith,
damn.
he went from club fighter to almost superstar when he beat up Fonfara. Then he knocked Bernard Hopkins out the ring.
Yeah.
But then we realized he's not that guy. And now Beterbiev, a lot of people do think he is that guy. So what do you think is going to happen when Beterbiev faces off against Joe Smith? Firstly, I think Beterbiev, maybe he might get caught like he did against Callum Johnson, but I reckon within 6 rounds he just takes him out.
KO, yeah. KO. Man, the guy's got 98% knockout ratio.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. You can't bet anything else against that.
The one thing that's wild about him is because it's 37. I was like, damn, you're kind of old. You're kind of old, and I didn't expect that for like what his reputation precedes him. You're not thinking that he's that old. Like maybe 34, 30. You know what I mean? 37.
I didn't think he was that old.
40.
Yeah, I thought he was about 32.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
But I do got Arthur though for me. But if Joe won, bro, that'd be like some Rocky shit, boy. If Joe just went in there and was like, fuck it, you know what I mean? He just won that would be some Rocky shit, and I would love it.
That's not gonna happen. That's why.
I know. I'm wishful thinking for sure, but no.
I'm expecting a bit more of a very similar fight to the Callum Johnson fight. I think Joe Smith's a bit smarter, so he'll probably take it a bit further down the stretch. But I think for me, it's Beterbiev knockout, 7th to 9th round, that sort of time. I think I'll go beyond the first 6, but the first 6 will be entertaining. And I think the last couple of rounds might be a bit difficult to watch because Joe Smith is tough. But yeah, I think Beterbiev knockout, but it's going to be exciting. It's one of those ones where I'm actively going to stay up to watch it. I'm not going to try not watch it in the morning.
So who do you believe wins the Beterbiev? Let's just assume Beterbiev wins, because I think everyone's got the same sort of mindset that he's going to get the knockout. Bivol v Beterbiev. How do we see that going?
Ooh, hello. Ooh, I'm going for Bivol, you know.
Yeah, I got
just ask me again after this fight, but
I got
Beterbiev all day. I think Bivol's a very good fighter. And like we sort of said about Inoue, he does the basics very well. If you watch his footwork drills, if you watch his pad drills, it's jab in, jab out, and he can also sort of punch when he's moving. If you look at Kano, he's a very flat-footed fighter. That's where he sort of he worked that out. Realized Kano didn't have the power to trouble him in the first couple of rounds, so just put it on him. I think if he's getting hurt on the way back, if you see there's a few fights where Bivol's been caught, been hurt, and he backs up. It was because of that he went on he sort of stopped knocking people out. He went, I think, 4 or 5 fights without a knockout, because in one fight he got sort of wobbled, and then I think it was the 9th round or so. So he went back to being a sort of jab fighter, sort of safety first. So it sort of shows that he's cautious about getting hurt. If you're going in with a monster who knocks everyone out, I can only see Beterbiev just getting to him. He's vicious.
You know what? I think there's a difference between being cautious and just being educated boxing. I think with Bivol, I think he knows he's not going to knock Beterbiev out. I think he's just going to be happy to box the whole night. Yeah. And we know that he's got the engine to still be firing 3, 4, 5, 6 punches in the 12th round. So I think his footwork plays a massive part. I think he's going to frustrate Beterbiev. And yeah, I think just his engine is going to be the difference. But although obviously we have to wait for the 1-punch knockout, but the 1 punch you've got to be wary of that. But I think Bivol outboxes him all day long.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ben. That's my whole I think Bivol is a better boxer, just a better boxer than Arthur. I think that he can he could outbox him if he wanted. I see that not so much as him being cautious, but him knowing how to adjust. He's really good at adjusting mid-fight. And that is what you're going to need against a power puncher, because anything can happen to you. At any point in the fight, you can get hit with some, what we like to call, quote unquote, fat shit, and that can knock you out. It can destroy you. So you have to be able to adjust, you know what I mean? And I feel like Bivol is so technical. Not only is he in ring, but mentally he's very technical. And he'll be able to come up with something and be able to get through. But it's gonna be one of those sitting on like pins and needles, kind of like the first Wilder fight with Fury, you know, and then it kind of felt like, because you know how Wilder was fighting, he was just like, I'm trying to just knock this motherfucker, I don't care, you know, and everybody watching it was just like, oh shit, is he gonna hit? Oh shit, I feel like that's what it's kind of gonna be about, like for a little bit, but a little bit more competitive, you know. But yeah, just gotta get through Joe, you know. My boy.
I think for me, Bivol, his speed helps him, but I don't know how hard he hits. He even said he could move down to super middleweight like ages ago. So he's a small light heavyweight. And I think with Beterbiev, if you watch his fight against Gavozchik, yeah, it's like the commentators, they're all scoring the fight, talking about Gavozchik's winning this many rounds, Beterbiev is doing this and doing that. So you ain't got to score this one. He's just going to walk straight through him. It doesn't matter what the scorecards are. If Gavozchik makes it to round 12, that means he's some tough guy because he's just going to get battered. He's going to forget the scorecards, forget the little boxing. He's just going to walk you down, grind you out, land a body shot. So if Bivol is able to use his speed and use his footwork to sort of get around him and be smart about it, possibly, but at the same time, if he throws 3 but Beterbiev throws 1 and Beterbiev lands, then it's going to be a long night. So that's why I just have Beterbiev winning that fight. Obviously, Bivol, he did sort of impress me against Canelo, but again, Canelo's, you can just see the size difference. Against Beterbiev, you can see the size difference, the opposite way around, and I'm not sure how you can do with that. So I'll give the edge to Beterbiev.
Yeah, I hope that fight gets sad. So
same.
Yeah.
We're in a decade of the undisputed, man. All these belts coming out of nowhere.
Nah, facts, bro. Facts. I love it.
Choosing between Crawford and Spence. That's how I feel about that.
Oh man, I've gone back and forth with that one for a long
Yeah,
time.
literally, I could go back and forth with this one, same way.
But if I'm honest, like I don't even know who wins with if you throw Boots in there. Like Boots is a problem.
Oh yeah. No one wants
Tell
to
him,
fight
bro.
him.
Tell
No
him.
one wants
Yes.
to fight him. He's been avoided like nobody's business.
Yeah.
He's gonna catch up though. He's gonna catch
Yeah.
I
up.
was just checking the rankings for one of the organizations, and he was like ranked 3. I'm like, why nobody? What?
They don't want to fight him.
They missing out, bro.
It's a conspiracy, bro.
He's a
He's
best
so
kept secret
young.
right now because not a lot of people know who he is, and that's a shame. Like,
Yeah. Same Southpaw Orthodox. He's got it all, man.
Literally.
It's like a mini Terence Crawford, isn't it?
yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
It's like a mini Terence Crawford.
But you know what? The thing is, I feel like when Boots turns Southpaw and when Crawford turns Southpaw, I feel like Boots is so much more balanced. Whereas, like, although like Crawford is elite at Southpaw, you can't see the difference between the styles of his Orthodox and his Southpaw. Whereas Crawford, I feel like I could see a difference.
I feel like it's because he's younger, and I feel like he trained. Earlier to do both.
Yeah, probably.
So it just runs a bit smoother. It's just that extra bit of practice.
I think
But I don't know if he's Southpaw Orthodox. I actually don't know. Boots, is he Southpaw Orthodox?
Orthodox.
Is he actually?
Well, he always starts Orthodox, but he switches. You don't know. Like, either hand knocks him out. It don't matter. And he's another one. Like, what's his knockout ratio? I think it's only like 1 man survived.
That's why no one wants to fight him.
Yeah.
All right, so Beterbiev Smith, let's get the final predictions in.
Knockout.
Yeah,
Beterbiev.
round 7.
Yeah.
Round 7. Oh.
Round 7.
Yeah, I'm gonna 6 or 7 years as well.
I'm gonna say round 8 again. I'm gonna say round 8 again. Beterbiev.
You can't have 6 and 7. You've got to pick one.
If I was to play some of the bookies, I'd go 50-50 each one. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna say round 6. I'm gonna say round 6
Okay.
because I feel like it's gonna be such an explosive start, and then someone's gonna get caught, and it's not Beterbiev.
I don't think he'll get caught, but I think he can get up. That's where he's scary because he can, like, if you look at Callum Johnson fight, Callum Johnson's one of the hardest punching light heavyweights in the world. He's in like the top 3 hardest punching light heavyweights. Knocked him down, he just got up. People don't get up from Callum Johnson knockdown. So yeah, video round round 7. I was saying 7 to 9, but if we have to do one round, I'll stick with 7.
Do we have to worry about any cuts?
Cuts?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because in that Brown fight, he had a split on his head, didn't he? Marcus Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry about the cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move on to an even bigger hitter.
Woo!
Daniel Dubois becomes the second current British heavyweight champion of the world. The Tyson Fury and the Daniel Dubois. Do you guys agree or disagree?
I mean,
Those
Do you know
belts are
what?
confusing,
For
bro.
me,
that's weird to say it like that.
I'm over
when
it.
it comes to these regular belts and these sort of things, I think there's very much an argument to say the sort of the fighter makes the belt in some ways. Like if you look at Lee Wood, I would say Lee Wood is a world champion, although technically he's a regular champion.
Yeah.
But if you look at the opposition he's faced, the way he's defended the belt, he's not kind of hid from anyone. He's fought the best people he can fight. Then he is a world champion. If you take Trevor Bryan, I would not have said he was a world champion because who did he fight? I mean, it says a lot when they try and screw Mahmoud Shah out of a fight to then fight like a real unknown. So when you go when the levels like the sort of, I wouldn't even put Mahmoud Shah in like the top 20 heavyweight boxers in the world right now, and they're sort of doing the politics to get him out of the way to bring in like someone who I wouldn't even put in the top 100 heavyweights in the world. Like it says it all. Whereas Dubois so far I still see him as a bit of a novice. I don't class him as a heavyweight champion yet, but if he defends this belt, we just call it a belt, say 2-3 times against quality opposition, he's calling out the big names, then maybe so, But I think there's this boxing politics, boxing corruption it's ruined it in terms of the title scene because you're never quite sure who the number one is, or which on the one hand it makes for interesting debate, but at the other times you do want to just say who's the man in that division, who is the heavyweight champion, or who is the champion of that division. Right now for me, Dubois is not a champion, a world champion. He's a champion of something, and it's sort of on his shoulders to make it into something more.
Harry's got a really good point. One thing
Sorry?
I was saying that Harry's got a really good point. Just
Can you
about
say that again, please?
Harry is the man. No, just in regards to the belt, like I actually did a YouTube video on this as well, Princess London _ But yeah, basically, I just feel like there needs to be a belt or a ranking just for fans, like that they can actually rank who they want. Because at this point, obviously, we know that there's that big element of business in boxing, and no one can really like stop that from really taking over. Who's got the belts, who fights who, and then really boxing, like you guys fight for the viewers, that you fight for the fans, you fight for us, what we want to see. If you're a real boxer, then you want to get all the belts and you want to, fight the person who your fans want you to fight. You want to sell out arenas. That's really what it's about, and be champion. So why would you, dictate all of that by a regular belt? Or whatever the case is, or by who promotes you. So I really do think there needs to be a ranking for just fans to vote online. Just click a button themselves. Like they're paying for the tickets at the end of the day.
I don't think we need another belt. There's too many belts. You need.
Yeah, there we go.
There's too many belts. This is why we're in the era of undisputed, because you had the sort of Floyd Mayweather effect where everyone was kind of protecting their O. And that's slowly being phased out now. Now we've got people unifying. That's why we didn't have the fights that we wanted before, because people were like too concerned with protecting their own. So they'd win a belt, they'd fight their mandatories, they'd fight weak opposition, and then they wouldn't really have any unifications, or they'd have that one unification fight, they'd lose, and then they'd just retire. And then on top of that, sorry.
I was saying the problem is money though. They're not gonna take away belts because they just want them.
If we start unifying, and then if you look at the fight disciples, so Nick Pete and Adam Cattrall, they've got a bin the belts movement. But they're basically saying, someone go in, unify a division, drop the belts, go out with the Ring Magazine belt, and just go, look, I will fight anyone. I don't need to, because if you look at the governing bodies, everyone sort of wants to be a world champion, right? If they're a boxer, that's why they get into the sport, unless you get into like journeyman reason or whatever. But it gets to a point where the politics, the corruption, the money, the sort of the people behind the scenes that are sort of whispering in ears of boxers are ruining it. The undisputed fights are amazing. They're exciting to watch. You know, the build up and the hype to them. But look how many get derailed as well at the same time. Because
Straight away.
well, look at this. Look at for the last, I think it's been 4 or 5 years now. I get excited at least once a year about the potential of a heavyweight unification. It hasn't happened. And every time I'm like, it's really going to happen this time. And I'm saying to people, I'm like, yeah, do you know what? The other times before I got quite excited, but it wasn't to be. But do you know what? This time it's the closest it's ever been. Closest it's ever been. It doesn't happen because there's too much greed, corruption, or the they'll call it a mandatory. There's too many belts. You know, I think the way things are going, I imagine in the next sort of 15, 20 years that one of these sanctioning bodies will fold. I'm not sure which one yet, but there's signs for all of them really. The people are getting frustrated with them. The WBA with their regular and then super titles. You've got the WBC with their franchise titles that they've brought out, which weren't there to be defended. You couldn't lose them, but then Lomachenko lost his and all this sort of stuff. I think there's too much going on in that sort of.
I can't keep up.
It feels
complicated.
It feels like these guys are competing with each other. Like it feels like the sanctioning bodies are coming up with stupid like schemes to compete with each other. Bro, just get all that shit and throw it away, bro. You're just confusing us. You're confusing the fighters, like just what they go for, like how you claim, it's just fucking confusing, bro. Like
it's money, isn't it? Because they want their 3% they get, and then they'll create a commemorative belt to go on top. And they can charge more for that, and it's bullshit.
I can see the thing of the promoters. Let's say, for example, Eddie Hearn on DAZN. I reckon at some point he'll look to monopolize the market. Maybe Sky might try to at some point, but a bit like a UFC sort of thing. Whereas all the fighters that are signed to them, there's just one main belt, and then the rest of you might even not see a WBC or a WBA, because I feel like the promoters are going to get so powerful that they're just going to make their own stuff, and now everyone's competing for that.
That's what PBC tried to do. That they didn't do too well. I think with boxing it's tough because you need either to have like 2-3 undisputed champions, or you need too much of a foothold in the sport, where I think all these promoters they've got sort of split up. But I reckon a fighter could do it better than a promoter. If a fighter just says, "Listen, I've got all the belts. I'm just gonna drop them all." I think Harry said that. Just drop them all and just say, "Yo, I'm here to fight. Forget the belts." I think it's like 5% for every governing body, yeah. So that's like 20% of your purse gone before you've even stepped in the ring. Whether you win or lose, you're still paying them sanctioning fees. And then you got to pay taxes, and then you got to pay your promoter, and you got to pay everyone else. So going undisputed, really, your money's going down.
I feel like there's got to be something in play, because I can't imagine every sanctioning body's going to take in their 3 or 5%.
That was for Charlo. It was exactly that for Charlo.
Wait, it was like that for Charlo, you said?
Yeah, when Charlo was defending his title, or titles, and one of those titles unified, it was they had to pay 3% to everyone, minimum of 3%. So
yeah. So to me,
yeah.
Does that make sense?
Remember, Carlos Bolden, mate, he beat Zab Judah for, I think it was 2 or 3 belts, can't remember. He was unified, and he had to drop a belt because he couldn't afford the fees, isn't it? That was like his big come-up fight where everything had paid off. But he couldn't afford to pay for his own belt, basically, pretty much.
So it's like, what the belt even stand for now? I fighting to achieve this fucking belt. This is supposed to show that I beat this guy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I can't even pay for. You can't pay for the gym membership. You can't come in the gym. That's fucked up, man. That's fucked up, man. That's why you should just get rid of them, bro. Because then it doesn't become about boxing anymore, and that is what it's supposed to be about in the first. That's why you was created. All you motherfucking alphabet soup companies got boxing in the name. All of y'all. So you can't take shit away for shit like that, bro. That shit's ass. I'm sorry. That shit is trash. Damn. Oh my god, man.
So do you think Dubois can use this regular title to like catapult his career and put himself in with the big dogs, or does he still have more to do?
I think much like what Harry said earlier on about the fighter makes the belt. Unless he goes on and fights the likes of Dylan White, Parker, and he starts like convincingly beating these people, I don't think it's going to do much. It's good to have to say you've got a belt and for the photos and stuff, but unless you beat some top guys, it's just another belt, isn't it?
I think there's an element of things when I know some people complain about the internationals, and I know that you've got the WBO European. I understand that you do need to win those for rankings, and I think sometimes there's an element involved that they're just being sanctioning bodies being greedy, and other times I do sort of look at some of the fighters that win a belt, and I think, you know what? To a viewer, it doesn't really mean anything. They know it's not a world champion. It might even be a bit confusing, but to that fighter, that might actually just be their level. So at the end of their career, when they sort of go home, they can have something on the mantelpiece to say, yeah, that's me, that's that. I think at the same time, you've kind of got to look at what we're doing and how we're sort of acknowledging these people and what we're sort of saying about these fighters to sort of encourage this or discourage this. There should be a sort of more sort of vocal movement about all of this sort of thing, because you can't start having, which we've already got, like sort of 6 or 7 world champions per division. It's insanity.
Anyone else got any thoughts on that? No? We're going to bring some people into the podcast. Going to start off with the Hydrated King, Kevin Pagani. Kevin, how you doing, bro?
Yo.
Hello.
What's going on, bro?
Hey, Kevin.
Hello.
What did you make of the Inoue versus Doniare fight?
Wait, hold on, AB. Kevin, this is Jordan. Jordan, this is Kevin.
Oh yeah.
Hey, nice to meet you, Jordan.
I'm normally locked
Nice
off
to
by
meet
this
you.
point. Today's a good day.
Go on, Kevin. What did you make of the fight?
I'll be honest, I kind of missed it. I didn't have a chance to watch it, so kind of like a little spaced out. Who won exactly?
Inoue versus Doniare. Did you see the fight?
No, I didn't have time to watch it.
Did you see the highlight of the knockout?
No, I had no time at all to watch anything at this weekend. So
You knocked him out in the second round. What do you think of that, mate?
I mean,
the competition was a bit late, wasn't it?
I mean, did what's his name? Did Inoue win or no?
Anyway, yeah. So basically, Inoue hit Doniare in the final seconds of the first round. Completely sort of dropped in. The bell went, so he had that minute to recover. Came running back out. I think he hit him with a hook at one point, and Doniare just sort of staggered back. I thought the ref should probably stop it there because his hands were down. He's hit the ropes. He didn't, and then he knocked him down again, and then again. I think the other 2 knockdowns, or it was done very quickly. It was done within the first sort of minute and a half of the second round.
Oh man, so my predictions were wrong.
Yeah.
I said like 7th or 8th round. Damn.
Yeah, sorry, Kevin.
I mean, at least I still got it right that he would win, though.
Yeah.
That's good.
What do you think of Buthelezi versus Smith coming up this weekend?
That I'm looking forward for. Honest, and I think Smith has it.
Kevin, don't do it.
You see how he stopped? He was like,
okay, so like I don't want to predict yet another
Lost.
further.
Yeah. What did he say last week? That was crazy. He said something crazy last week.
he said he wanted the rematch with Cambosis.
Oh yeah.
Which is wild. You're wilding, Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin, that water's not gonna save
Drink
you.
your water. You're wilding.
I don't want to predict like round 7 or 8 or anything like that, but I would say Smith will win. If not by knockout, then by decision.
No, Kevin.
You know what? It's not all that wrong because we've seen Buthelezi get dropped before, so I wouldn't say it's not a crazy prediction, but
Even Jordan's had enough. He's gone.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like Smith will. I feel Smith will win. That's for sure. But I don't want to
Can I
predict
ask,
what
can I ask you?
round.
Can I ask you what makes you think? I know you said by knockout or decision, but what I'm saying is that what sort of game plan can Smith put into play to negate Beterbiev?
I don't know. I feel like he's just gonna be more. I would say more pressure wise. If you guys see it in that. With Smith, I feel like he'll put a lot more pressure, and I feel like he'll just catch with a good hook, if not. But like I said, I have a strong feeling that it also might get to decision too. Because
there'll be pressure, and then he'll catch him with a punch of some kind, and if not, it will.
Yeah, I just feel like he's just gonna just push in and stuff and put a lot of not fear, but more so like worriness and just taking advantage in that way.
So I think there's going to be more of a fight from Smith instead of the Johnson fight as the example I've been using, but I just think Beterbiev's going to get to him and shoot him. I think Beterbiev's just a freak.
Kevin, any other topics to talk about?
I did wanted to talk about Simiso dying. I'm sorry if I pronounced his name wrong, but that was honestly when I read about that was something that was actually very heartbreaking. Like I didn't know much about him. I know I heard about him once because of a friend told me about him, but when I actually read how he died and even watching the video, that was actually heartbreaking. And I hope real people actually realize that this sport or any other combat sport is not something to joke around with. That's something very serious. And feel bad for what happened and everything. Rest in peace and condolence to his family. But
you know what? I think we didn't touch on earlier actually. Kevin, you wasn't here, but the meme culture is crazy. It's literally people saying he's fighting an invisible man. It was jokes all online, and then obviously people start saying sorry, like rest in peace and that once he's passed. But like just seeing that was like my heart dropped. I was like, oh my gosh, like he's got a serious problem. But people coming online so quick to say like making fun of it, and it's like guy's clearly in trouble. Yeah, I just think people just got to be more thoughtful when they're talking about fighters' lives.
I realized it was bad when you see the caption for the video before you actually see it, and you're thinking the boxer fighting the guy in the corner is gonna be the one who just got knocked down. But when it was the other guy, I was thinking, he must have some. You could tell it was serious when you're thinking he's winning the fight, and he still doesn't know where he's at. That's when I knew this isn't good. And so that's why I never found it funny at all to begin with. I knew like this is.
Do you know what? I watched it. I was painting the flat at the time. We're decorating at the moment, or we were decorating, and someone had posted it like a Buthelezi, and I watched sort of half of the footage. When you sort of sit down, you're having a cup of tea. I was looking at it. I was like, that's a bit. But I missed the last few seconds. So I just saw him sort of turn in the corner and throw a punch. And I wasn't sure if he was just happy he won or got the knockdown or whatever. So I commented. I was like, because I saw the caption sort of saying, it'd been stopped. So I was like, who did it go to? A bit confused. I got rinsed in the comment section. Everyone was like, well, you should have watched it, whatever. I went back and watched it back. I was reading, I was like, that's a bit harsh. And I saw it, and I was actually like really, like you say, concerned and a bit like, that's not good. He's obviously not in a good way. And then a couple of days later, he's passed away. And like Jordan says, it sort of shows how we are quite ruthless as a society. We'll jump on anything. But then we've also got this like be kind movement on social media. But we show we're not a kind species. It's sad.
Especially when he walked towards the ref. That's when I knew like something is not just he's walking towards the ref. It was like, no, something's wrong. I'm just grateful.
You know what? It's you gotta take your hat off to him, because obviously you don't know what was going on in his mind, but he was literally a fighter till the end. Couldn't see, didn't know where he was, but just literally fighting off of instinct now, wasn't he?
Yeah, 100%.
All right, Kevin, thank you for joining us this week. Sorry, it's going to be a quick one this time. Yeah, we'll see you again.
Yeah,
next
that's
week.
all good. Thank you about that.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Cheers, Kev.
All right, we're bringing in Mr. Benji R. Bags on Instagram. How you doing, sir?
What's going on, gentlemen, ladies, gentlemen? I can't forget the ladies, of course. Shut up. Ladies and gentlemen, pleasure to be on your show.
Thank you. What do you think of the Inoue versus Doniare fight?
It was more to me like a kind of a passing of the torch fight for Doniare. Doniare's kind of resurged and kind of came back onto the scene. And so I just kind of saw it. It was just way too quick. I felt he was just, I thought it was be a first round knockout. I really thought it would kind of go quick. Inoue, he's just too good, man. He's just a good boxer, right? So for the respect Doniare gave him, you know, he's typically a respectable guy. But you can always look in the guy's eyes and always tell, you know what, I'm a little bit overmatched here, but I ain't finna act like no punk. I'm gonna get in here anyway, you know. So for him to kind of get, you know, kind of touched up in the first round and then for it to kind of happen in the second round, I figured that was kind of where it was going to go. So more like a passing of the torch for me.
See, I saw that. I thought Doniare would get hurt in the beginning. I think I said it on the show last week, but I thought because he was such a veteran, he'd be able to kind of trick his way around it, you know, and take it a bit further. I thought he'd either get knocked out late rounds,
right,
or be able.
It's like he didn't even see that punch coming. That shows you how kind of slow for him to be the Filipino Flash, you know, his own self. You know what I mean? And then to not see that punch coming like that was kind of showed you what was up to me.
But I think as well for me, it was the delayed reaction in the second round from that hook.
Yes.
You know, when he staggered back, I was a bit like, okay, this is not going to last this round, because it's one thing to have a sort of knockdown from one punch where you get hit, you go down, but to see him get hit, and it's almost like 3 seconds later, his brain was still.
He was done. He was. I was gonna bet first. I was betting first round. I thought he was just way too overmatched, like I said. But second round, I mean, I'm glad I didn't bet. Let me just say that.
You'd be like Ryan Garcia.
Oh man, 20,000, 20K. I mean, he's got it to throw away. He's going to have to work that out. He posts a few videos on social media. He'll be
What's your prediction for Beterbiev versus Joe Smith coming up?
Beterbiev is not going to lose that fight, man. He's the beast at 175. I mean, I was going to come on and just say something controversial because of the other guy that was on. I just kind of, but listen, Beterbiev is possibly on the track to get a Canelo fight. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I can see it, and that's a big money fight. You know what I mean? So I can't see him losing that fight. No way. 6-7 rounds, I give it. I think Beterbiev just walks him down, unless he comes in like out of shape, not really motivated or anything like that. Look at Beterbiev, man. It's like, who wants to fight him at 175? It's like I would Canelo after fighting Boval. I would think, you know what, he probably is not going to step in the ring against Beterbiev. So that one I got 6-7. I can see Beterbiev just kind of walking him down and then just kind of taking it out. Body shots. I can see a body shot probably closing the show.
Okay. One question I have for you: what did you make, or did you watch the Trevor Bryant Daniel Dubois fight? What did you make of the sort of fight and the event itself?
I didn't see that one. If I would pull up my phone real quick and look at it, I'd give you about 5 seconds. But I didn't. I didn't watch that one. I was more glued to Floyd's Hall of Fame speech, and so that kind of had me intrigued a little bit more. I thought that was a huge deal. For that man to have done all that he's done and to get to that moment, to me, that was like, yo, and to see him shed those tears it's like one of those grown man, mama, I made it, daddy, I made it, I kind of listened to you moments. So that stuck with me, but I'll have to go back and watch the fight you're speaking of.
No, I think I watched the Floyd's speech and it was really sort of touching, especially when he was like, his dad wasn't going to cry and he dedicated it to his father. It was nice to see they've had that reconciliation as well.
Right.
They started.
And there was a lot of representation there. Layla Ali was there. I mean, of course, what was it, 39 total boxers, if I'm not mistaken, that went into the hall or got the recognition. And I'm a big B-Hop fan. So coming from jail and, the warden or the corrections officer telling him, you're going to be back here again. And he literally took that, man. That's like hardcore motivation right there, So for him to be there, to get his induction, Floyd, Andre Ward was there, Layla Ali was there, Porter was there, they're talking Bud Crawford was there. I mean, it was just a lot of representation of young and old boxers. So that kind of drew me in a little bit more. But I tell you, the one thing I was disappointed, if I could say this, Berlanga.
Oh, I saw that. I didn't
yeah.
mention it.
Yeah. Him and Munguia, both of those boys, they got some trouble ahead of them when they step up in competition, bruh.
Of course. Okay.
What happened in that fight? I didn't see it.
Berlanga, man. Is he any good for real? Like,
the issue is that he's fought club level opposition. So over here in the UK, we call them journeymen. In America, we've got the club level scene. So it's a bit different because I know club fighters will turn up to win sometimes. A bit different over here. But I think it's that club level opposition. He's blown them away. But it's almost like every time he's put into a fight with someone that's willing to stand and take one, to give one, and that sort of thing, he gets lost for ideas.
It's amazing for him to be considered a top flight fighter with his power, but then he literally doesn't have anything else in his game. He can't switch it up. He can't go southpaw. It's like, and he was really, really, really hyped coming into the game, of course, because of that power. But then I'm thinking, as many fights as he has now, I was hoping with that fight, and to top it off, Angulo came in a pound and a half overweight. He had to drop another pound.
He was overweight. He's older. He's 38. He was 2 years out of fighting, I believe.
Yeah,
they really tried to catch this man down, and he kind of exposed him a little bit, like in the process. Like
he's tried to bite him in the fight as well.
Yeah.
For me,
well, I think he did bite him.
He did.
He did.
I think he did bite him, and I just think because it's Puerto Rico, it was a Kodo type of night. The culture, everything. I just think he knew he could get away with whatever and probably give a minimal effort. He won the fight, and I'm sitting there like,
yeah,
come on, man, we can't do that. You know what I mean? I know Angulo probably, I'm sure he cared, but you know what I mean? He probably knew he wasn't going to win coming into that with that crowd and everything. So
it was 168, right? If I'm watching your performance after that fight and I'm in 168, Caleb Plant, if I'm Benavidez, any of those guys, I'm looking at you, I'm like, you're a lick. You're a lick.
Well, not Caleb Plant though, because Caleb Plant ain't got nobody's power. He could probably box him to death.
Yeah, but for sure. But I think that's enough. Though. I think that's
what? That might be very true.
I think that'd be enough for Berlanga because that guy made him uncomfortable. And I feel like if you get him uncomfortable, you can beat him. And I think Caleb can get him uncomfortable because Caleb's boxing is way better than his. Oh yeah. I just don't think he I don't know, man. Because a guy like that, we expecting something better. Not even the fact that you're expecting a knockout. It's just in certain fits of the rounds of the fight, you can tell my man was going through fits, man. Like he was frustrated. Him biting him was a reaction off of being frustrated. He was being frustrated, man. This man Angulo was coming in. I seen this one moment when Angulo pushed this man into the ropes. This man is 38. You just turned 25. Where is it at, man?
He's stationary, man. He looks
like this man. I get it. He was overweight by half a pound. 2 years out. Come on, bro. You let him push up on you. Like, I'm not saying don't go out there and don't box. Of course, he boxed and he outboxed him. There was no robbery. It was nothing like that. He won the fight. But Lo, you out here trying to dazzle. You calling yourself the chosen one. This dude's supposed to be push broom, but you know it wasn't.
Did he say push broom?
You know what I mean? And for Munguia, you just need to work on some defense, player, because when you start fighting some of these dudes who can actually hit and withstand your punches, that's what it is. People haven't been able to withstand his shot, the guys he's fought. But when you start fighting dudes who can, you're done. Because you're just gonna be in there slugging these dudes, and you're gonna get rocked. It's over for you. Like, oh my God.
Now, how old is Berlanga? I'm forgetting. I don't know.
He just turned. Yeah, I know because his birthday's a day after mine. He just turned.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, let's. I mean, I don't know. I was disappointed, highly disappointed, because I actually was going to pay for the ESPN Plus. And I'm glad I didn't, because it was on regular ESPN. So I'm super glad I didn't. I was just hoping I could see him maybe at this point, maybe adjust a little bit, maybe show something extra in his game. You know what I mean? That's significant for a top flight fighter. You know what I mean? And I didn't see it. I didn't get it. And that was kind of frustrating for me, especially knowing that with his one punch power, man, if he even add some kind of dip or, you know, some kind of slide, you know, some kind of sidestep and swing, hook, power, do something significant. And I just didn't see it. And I did see his corner slap him a couple times. That was exciting. That was very exciting.
I think Bob Arum said that's the only guy who's got the capabilities of beating Canelo. Let's put that out there.
Hold on.
Who?
Yeah.
Hold on. Somebody said Berlanga is beating Canelo.
Not now. Not now.
Oh man.
Not fighting like that. It's over.
You need to send me that clip so we can post it on IG and smash it.
It's not a slight though. I'm not trying to slight Berlanga because kid's talented, got a lot of promise. He gonna beat. But take this as a learner fight. If you got yes men in your corner telling you that was a great performance, get them out of there. That is not going to help you elevate to the next level. Same for Munguia. I already know they got Munguia drinking the Kool-Aid over there at Gold Point. They love serving out the Kool-Aid over there. They got that man thinking he's the man. I think he called out I don't know if he called out G or somebody, but if he called out G, I still got G beating you only because G Chin hasn't showed me that it's gone out yet. And that's all it's going to take to beat you, in my opinion. So, look, don't let these young boys get sour, bro, by having them think that they're better than what they are, because you're going to ruin their careers that way. Get these dudes, understand, don't tell them that because they're not trash. Obviously not. They caught up here. But you got to tell them, bro, look at what you're not doing, your incapabilities, stuff that you need to work upon, because these other fighters that they're approaching, bro, they on another level, man. They've proven that. They've shown that, bro. So you need to, if you don't come equipped, you're getting gone, man. So.
I think Berlanga is because he got the whole country behind him. He's like the cash guy. You know what I mean? So if you put him in there with somebody with the following, you know, they can, you know, boxing is about money and politics and all of that type of stuff. So if you get somebody in there, get Berlanga in there with somebody they can create a super fight and hype it up. You know what I mean? Kind of like Tank and Rolly was. So kind of the same thing.
That's it for me. I think Munguia and Berlanga are still being carried because they've got the Puerto Rican fans and the Mexican fans. That's sort of simply what it is. I think at this point, if Berlanga is to move forward, I'm not sure who his trainer is, but sort of like Don said, just kind of get a new camp, maybe just get away. I think the last 3 fights or so, he's looked very basic, very ordinary.
Very straight up and down, as Floyd would say.
Yeah, so just go, just sort of go find a new camp, build a new base, get a new team around you, work on things. Even if you spend, I moan sometimes that fighters don't fight enough, but maybe just take sort of 6-9 months out, work on a new style or work on improving your existing style, change your game. And if not, and if it stays the same, just feed them to a prospect that's coming up, someone that has got the ability, that can do it.
To me, that should happen in the amateurs, and it's hard, you know, to kind of a guy's gonna be what he's gonna be, and to me, I think this is Berlanga, because he's kind of coddled too. So let's just be honest, and Munguia. So I think you learn those basics in amateurs. You know what I mean? But if I can get through it 25 and get through it to what, maybe 2-3 more years like this, I mean, I'll enjoy the silk robes as well, you know, and the cash, you know, without putting in minimal effort. So, I mean, and again, I was hoping for something different, but didn't get it.
They're both 25 too. That's
Right.
Crazy.
So Ben, you have your own podcast as well. And let's tell the people about that.
Yes, sir. I have the 5 Session podcast. As always, if you go on my IG page, BRB4701, you'll be able to go right in my link tree. Of course, you'll be able to go on my page, see some of the ads. We talk about a variety of things. We're kind of a full spectrum. We do sports. I love sports, love boxing. We do mental health. We talk about business. We promote owners. We promote entrepreneurs. I'm an entrepreneur. So go in there, check that out. It's a great show. Learning podcasting and putting it all together has kind of been kind of dope, and we've gotten a decent following from it. So it's pretty cool. So I want to say this before I go in a little bit. I remember you guys' page because I commented on the Tank De La Cruz fight, and I called it exactly with Tank taking him out with the uppercut. That's where I remember you guys from. So and I remember that part. So that was dope.
That's good. Yeah, thank you for joining us today. We get the next one in. We
Have a
good
great
time. You know your stuff, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a great one.
Appreciate it. All right, we're bringing in the next one now. Naeem, you're live on the Purist podcast. How are you, bro?
Hey guys, how are you?
Yo,
Thanks for having me on.
it's good.
I'll make it quick and short. Inoue, just elite, timing is impeccable, and like there's a reason he's high on the pound for pound list because no one's going to beat him. Not many guys can beat him in those weight classes. So elite, and with Buthelezi Smith, Smith has to go out in the early rounds to try and knock him out because Buthelezi always starts slow. He's got to believe in his own power because I think outside of Buthelezi, he's the hardest puncher in that division. But I think it's just going to go longer, and Buthelezi breaks him down and stops him in like round 9. Like by then, he'll probably stop him. So yeah, that's my thought.
But you predicted Inoue to get him out quite early, didn't you?
Like in 6, yeah. So he did it like
Okay.
quicker than that. So
No, fair enough. I thought it was someone who got it early, but no, he pretty much impressed all of us, didn't it? No one really predicted him to do what he's done.
Yeah. Sure.
What did you make of Dubois becoming the world heavyweight champion of the world, if you want to call it that?
he's not a world champion, but it's his best win, isn't it? Because I think after Gorman, this is probably his best win. So credit to him, and he did what he needed to do. He did what everyone expected, getting him out in 4, and that left hook was brilliant. The way he timed it and flattened him. But I think he needs to do that same thing. I like the fact that he's going out to America and fight. I think he should keep doing that and fighting like the American heavyweights there because you can build your profile, make a lot of money. Same thing Amir Khan did, when he went out to America and built his profile there and became a review star. I think, but for him, it's still a development. He still needs to develop more. I still don't think that against maybe the top 5 guys, he won't do that well. So take on like the former world champions or the world title challengers and see how you do against them, like the Charles Martins or those guys, or Dominic Brazil even.
All right, so one more topic I forgot to bring up earlier. Yeah, just want to get everyone's thoughts on this. Yeah, Donald King. Yeah, Don King. This guy is 90. He's touching 91, and he spent half an hour at the press conference. I don't know what he was talking about. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
I don't know what was happening. What do you lot make of him being allowed to promote?
First of all, I gotta understand something here. I don't know background. We don't know what goes on in these deals. But how does a man like Don King in 2022 still make money? How do boxers still use this guy as a promoter? I don't understand. Like, because me and AB talked about it earlier today. I'm at work. I'm like, Don King, I know he's been around forever. In my 26 years of life, he's always been around. So I was like, I'm going to do some research on him. And I see scandal after scandal after scandal from different decades of boxers. We got from Ali to Tyson. How the fuck you scamming people from Ali to Tyson from the 70s to the 90s? God damn, this is generational money grabbing, bro. I don't understand how he still has a job, but credit to that man must be selling the meanest snake oil. I don't understand how he's able to do this. But get him away from boxing. Leave him in the house, man. I'm sorry, it's no disrespect, but he's too old, man. That press conference, AB sent it to me. Oh my gosh, I think I killed a good hour at work just sitting at my desk watching that, and didn't get anything coherent from it. He's hopping from topic. It's literally like when you go visit you might visit a family member, the old folks want to be talking to them, and they just going, man, and it's like. You gotta stop, man. You gotta stop. Stop. He gotta find another way to make money. Because I don't understand how he's still. How you getting people to? I'm sorry. That's all I had to say, man. I'm upset. I was upset thinking about this all day driving home. Like he's been just getting people throughout the years. It's so documented, and people still trust him with their money, with their funds. And then look at the event. They was fighting at a bingo hall, man. I'm sorry, man. But they was fighting at a goddamn bingo hall, bro. That's Don King Promotions. Call it. Stop doing it, man. Stop.
You know what's rude? The commentator actually made a comment to say something like, the arena's not really sold out or something. And I was like, ooh, are they allowed to even say that?
That's what they don't even respect it, man. He said something like,
it at all.
He says, and I think I remember exactly what you were saying, because he said something like, oh, Dubois has to learn to fight at these certain levels of, he just basically saying this place is shit. This is a shit place. He's fighting at a bingo hall right now, and we don't know what's going on. And I think my shit froze because this Don King, he trying to cut me off. He don't want me to tell the truth about behind his shady dealings, but it's there. And I'm gonna just shut up now.
You must pull that one up, yeah?
You see, I stopped freezing after I stopped talking about. I'm telling you, man, it's a conspiracy. I don't know how he's still making money. That shit's insane. But that's how I feel about that. God damn.
Anyone else want to give their thoughts after that one? I think you covered it all, to be fair.
Pretty much said it, yeah.
I said at the beginning, I thought I was out in the 80s. I thought I got my princess said she got the wrong stream. She thought she'd like watching a vintage fight. And I was watching. And I was just like, what is this? I was just confused.
Yeah.
Everything was weird. And there was like 500 people there. It was like they had table service. You can see people getting served their food.
Yeah.
Whilst sort of swinging at him.
Yeah. It was very weird.
Like I said, like the venue was so weird that when Dubois sort of walked out, he just looked like confused. Well, I mean, he always looks confused, but he looked more confused. And yeah, it was just weird. And then Don King at the end was sort of, but not even that. Do you know, like just from an actual boxing perspective, like you think Don King, as you're saying, he's a scam artist. He's a crook. He's not a nice person. And I'm thinking, he'd do everything he could to get one up on, Dubois, because his fight is Trevor Bryant and all this and that. You think if you've got a man mountain like Dubois who hits like a train and isn't the quickest on his feet, that you have the biggest ring possible. But instead, it was like the ring was the size of my box room. It was like, what? Like, so you've put your man in there with a massive puncher and you've given him no space to avoid him. Like, well done. Literally. I reckon Trevor Bryant just annoyed Don King, and he was like, "Right, I'm bidding on this fight just to get ready."
Yeah, and I'm
they talked about that too, how small the ring was. The commentators.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
What? Who was broadcasting it?
So BT Sports in the UK. I'm not sure who had it in America. So that's the only way you could have made.
Now we
money.
had to stream that, boy. I was watching it through BT too, baby. I'm BT now too. On the weekends, I'm BT shit. Well, I had these stream. Oh, let me shut up, man. Them Jones classified, but just know, I'm watching everything.
Did they have like an American broadcast partner, like official one?
I didn't know. I didn't even try to because bro, it was at like a Hard Rock casino hotel, man. That shit is, come on, man. They ain't filming that shit. And oh man, it's just it frustrates me because it's like, why, bro? And this is what I believe. I believe Don King, through his snake oiling maneuvering, told Dubois and his team, like, look, man, 5-star, baby. You know how he did that. I'm Don King. You know me. You know my name, but probably for all the wrong reasons is what you're not paying attention to. And he probably came over and was expecting. But either way, for Dubois, it's a fight. So it's gonna be a good christening on here, but it's short. It's definitely not. He got to come back and do another one because a guy like him who has the potential to be a star, that ain't. He need a. That was a mulligan. He need another one, man, because that jump, nah. You know what I mean?
But Naeem, what did you think of Don King still promoting? And what did you think of Frank Warren allowing one of his potential stars to fight in a venue like that?
I mean, if you're being real, a group of year sevens could probably put on a better event than Don King did. It was bad. The graphic posters were bad. Like the promotion wasn't that great. So, but
Did you see the promotional
you
video?
brothers went- Sorry.
Did you see the promotional video?
Yeah, it looked like
That's not word art. It was
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Clip art, whatever it was called. You know, you made PowerPoints at school. Like,
Oh my god, Prezi. That shit was some Prezi shit.
I mean, for Frank, it's just bet on Dubois, like I said, going in America and just trying to get knockouts there because he's a knockout star.
Jordan. Sorry, Jordan, check your messages.
But I'll say just quickly, just Dubois did what he needed to do. Got in, won, and got out, and that's it. So yeah, credit to him. And Don King, credit to him for being 90, and him and Bob Arum, like for promoting. Because at that age, I know I'll be like a care home or something and not being able to walk. So
facts. Yeah. How old is Bob Arnhem, bro? That is another old
Bob Arnold.
Arnold. I can never say his name correctly. Yo, you're gonna find out. I be fucking up words a lot. I didn't know how to say museum until I was like 15.
I'm here for it.
About 5-6 years ago, I can't remember how long ago it was, but
Somebody
Bob
Google that
Arum
shit, man.
and Don King, they were doing a show together, and they had, I think HBO had them sit down and talk, and they're talking about like back in the day. Obviously, their back in the day is different. They talk about back in the day when Don King was putting out mafia hits and Bob Arum was stopping him from doing it, stopping killing people. It's like,
Yeah,
I think
because he's 92. Yeah, Bob's 92.
Yeah, Bob's like 86 as well.
No, he's 90. I just checked that shit.
Turn
So they
around.
Can you not
They
hear me
was
now?
one of them buddies.
Yeah.
They was-
Yeah, we can hear you, Jordan.
yeah, we can hear you.
No, I was gonna say that the Dubois fight, like I saw the clip on YouTube in it, and I thought it was one of his earlier fights. I didn't even realize it's literally
No.
when he got the belt, I was like, oh shit, he won like this. I was like, okay.
Yeah, literally. That's how I felt looking for the link. I must have watched 4 different people's YouTube links thinking, wow, my thing's not updating. Because it just literally looked like a Street Fighter background. It was so confusing.
So
Yeah,
I was gonna
like
watch the
Chicken
fight
Shack or
after,
something.
but it sounds like I should not even watch it.
Nah, it's not worth it, bro.
No.
it's worth
Even
it
if it's
you
free
watch it
and
from-
just don't watch it.
Nah, you want it's cool. It's quick though, so you can watch it because it's quick, just to
Yeah.
get the lows. But definitely watch it just for the laughs because it's quick. It's not like you gotta watch a decision. He gonna finish him. You know what I'm saying? So, and Trevor, what's his name? Brian? Trevor Brian. I remember seeing him years ago, back when Shannon Briggs was him and Jamar Miller used to be barking at each other. They used to want to fight each other like a grip ago, but I think they squashed that beef. But I was just like hearing his name, I was just like, what the fuck? That was just like a flashback because I remember when Shannon, this is back when Shannon was actually campaigning that I'm about to come back and start fighting. He just couldn't get a fight. But yeah, man, it was just wild hearing his name. It's crazy how life works because now he's fighting Daniel Dubois. That was just wild for me hearing those two names fighting each other.
All right, guys. Any other things you guys want to talk about? Nothing? Yeah, perfect. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Naeem, for joining us.
thank you for having me on.
No, all good, bro. Hope you have you again next week. Jordan, you know what? Your Wi-Fi is still strong today. Survive the distance, survive the round.
Hey, I had a couple of spells, bro. It was cutting out.
Harry, nice one again. Sorry, just got a touch on your face, mate. What's going on?
Yeah, it was time to shave. It was time to shave.
Yeah.
The beard will be back. I shaved and immediately realised I shouldn't. So it's coming back.
Is that what you lot were talking about? I didn't even realize this whole time.
What before that? Yeah, before that's what I'm talking about. But you know what? It makes you look younger, so it's not always a bad thing, isn't it?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Bro.
Kuzan, I remember never to mention Don King in front of you ever again.
Never. Only one Don, and that's Kuzan. Only one Don, and that's Kuzan, bro. Because
You took out a professional contract with him, didn't he?
Nah, bro. Don't even say it.
Princess, I know you need to go, so before you kill me, I'm gonna wrap it up right now, yeah?
All right.
All right, guys. Yeah, thank you for watching the podcast. Peace out.
Like, comment, subscribe. Goodbye.
Oh, she got me.